Welcome back everybody to my backyard. I've been doing a lot of work around here lately and I'm excited to show you some of the stuff I've had done. I've had a plumber and electrician out here. The electrician hasn't started work yet, he's only been on it, but I've got a few things I need to do first, which I'm hoping to capture in this video, and then we'll be ready for the electrician to come out. So let me show you what the plumber did when he came out here. Alright, so here we are inside the tiny house, and as you can see, I have got some plumbing ran in here. And this long, tall pipe you see right here, this is as long as it is because it was doing a pressure test. It will get cut back shorter and then re-ran back up there after the drains are added for the bathroom vanity and the kitchen sink. You can see the toilet plumbing pipe is in over there. In that far corner over there, that is the drain for the shower. And then over here, the 3-inch pipe in the back there, that is the drain for the washer and dryer. So let me show you how all of this comes together. Move the camera a little bit closer here. So the toilet will drain out here. I have to be a certain distance away from the shower. So the shower is going to be 36 inches or 3 feet off of that wall. And then I forget what the distance is from the shower edge to the toilet, but I'm within that distance here, so that's fine. This is all past my underground inspection for everything, so we're ready to bury this back in. You can see right down here, this is the water feed coming in. That'll be cold water coming in from the main house. It'll go around and back out through this wall over here where my water heater is on the other side, and then hot water will feed back in. This pipe right here is the drain pipe for the kitchen sink and vanity sink that I'm going to put in. It's also the breathe tube, the breathe pipe for the toilet as well. Okay, so what we have in here, I don't know if I can see that or not. Yes, this 3-inch pipe underneath my foot here, that's the drain for all of this over you see over here. So what we have, this is a 2-inch pipe, and you can't really see it, but there's a trap right down here. Just so the idea of a trap is it's a little U bend in the pipe that water sets in, so air can't go back through there, so I don't have the smell of sewer coming up out of my pipes, right? So this is my drain for my shower. It goes down, hits that trap, comes back up, and it drains across this pipe here over into the base of this, and then that drops down. It's hard to see with the camera angle. Maybe if I take it from another angle here. Let me move the camera again. Okay. So this pipe drains over here, and then it goes down and ties in right about here to that 3-inch pipe that goes back over towards where the toilet drain is. This right here is the drain for the washer and dryer, which you can see my connections here. So there's going to be a little wall right here because that's shower over there. It'll be 4 foot off this back wall here. So it's 3 foot wide by 4 foot. Both of these pipes will turn and go back into this wall. This will become a vent pipe for the shower. This one will come over here and it'll turn back into the wall, and then it elbows back over to this bay of the wall over here, and it will also go up. So this pipe will go up and over. This will be venting for the washer dryer, and it'll be the drain for the washer and dryer. This is the vent pipe for the shower, so it'll turn in the wall and just go up. And then both of those vent pipes will tie together. There we go. Both those vent pipes will tie together and then come over where you see the pipe for the vent pipe for the toilet and the sinks, and they will all tie together, and there'll be one vent pipe that goes up through the roof. So once they get up into the ceiling, they go up separate, then they tie together and then go on up through the roof and vent out through the roof. That's how those are going to tie together. Then you can also see that this pipe you see right over here goes over into the wall. underneath the stairs, that is my water feed. So this water feed will go underneath the stairs over to that back wall, come over just past the breaker box, and then it'll go out right about here. On the other side of this wall is my tankless water heater. It'll tie into the water heater to grab hot water. It'll also tee off down here, and it'll go back and feed the water for the toilet. So I'll have an a little water line coming out of this wall right here for the toilet. And then the hot water will come back in through this wall, go back around over to the stairwell, and then it'll go back into this wall where you see it right here. And then hot and cold water will actually feed up into the ceiling. It'll come across, and then it'll feed into the shower and this wet wall right here that I'm going to rebuild back in here for the two sinks. So that's how all the water is going to tie together. I also need to today to go ahead and fill the dirt back in here and get the concrete in here as well. And then all the plumbing outside's done too, so I can bury those ditches in too. Let me show you that next. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the outside plumbing, show you what he did different here from where the tie-in starts at. So I had these black rubber gaskets. In fact, I still have one over here. One of the dogs we dog sit likes to play with this as a toy, so he tore an edge off. But I had these black gaskets on here, one over here, one over there. And the plumber explained to me that these will only work if you have like a concrete slab poured underneath it, so there's no movement, because these will get brittle over time, and as it moves with the ground, it'll actually break. It'll crack and cause leakage. So we had to put something hard in there, so he replaced these with these harder, these yellow, harder couplings. And that ties all of this in here. You can also see this wire runs full length along the sewer drain, and that's because if they ever need to detect where the pipe is, they need to be able to find that metal. So that's just, they can take a metal detector over the ground and see where the sewer line runs. So that's what that is for. Okay, right in here, this is where the gas line ties back in. So gas company has already tied all this in. We've got gas running all the way out to the tankless water heater, which I'll show you in just a little bit. So I just want to show that this tie-in was made also. So what we have is from the original tie-in over there to the sewer line, comes across here. All this is going to get filled in today. There's that gas line tie-in, and it comes over, turns, goes back towards the tiny house there. Let me get the camera to the other side of the fence. As the sewer line comes around that corner, back towards the tiny house, you can see that the plumbers managed to make all of my tie-ins here. Ran that wire full length. Gas line's already been run down through here, so you see it running in parallel to the sewer lines. Let me turn the camera around the other way. You can see the other side here. So as he approached the tiny house here, where I had dug everything out on the inside does not line up where I thought it was going to outside. So he did have to dig this area here out a little bit more. But you can see he put a clean out in here. I can't bury this quite yet because where that yellow tie-in is, that's just a temporary valve he put in there, which I can bury after he takes that out. That's just to plug that up so he could do a pressure test. He had to fill all of the sewer lines inside the small building with water. So that was just to tie it off so it doesn't drain out into the septic. So all that's full of water. He'll pull this out, let that drain back through, and then just put a cap on that, and then I can bury all this as well. There's the water tie-in too. You see where that goes into the building. And then here is my tankless water heater, and that is all tied in as well. Let me swing this camera around the other way. So this is where the gas line comes up right here. You can see it kind of ties in right here, comes up. Got my little meter on there. And then it runs along this line over to the tankless water heater. Also, if you look down in the hole here, you follow the water line. It comes down and, sorry, this is difficult. Turn my camera, it comes across here, and it goes all the way up over and ties into the house over there. Let me get the camera a little closer. So this is where the water comes into the house. It'll actually run under the house full length to the other side. And then he'll actually put a valve. He's going to put a main valve in the small house under the stairwell, but he's also going to put a valve for this water line over where he does the tie-in over here under the main house, because that way if there's a line break underground outside here somewhere, I have a place I can cut that water off without having to cut it off for the whole house altogether. So he'll do that when he comes back to do all the rough-in plumbing. So that's it. That's where we're at. As far as electrical goes, I have to leave this ditch right here open because the electrician is going to have to run some conduit in here. The power I have running into the tiny house right now, in fact you can see the conduit lines right here, these gray lines. These are the conduit lines for the feed in there right now. It runs at 60 amps and I need a 100 amp circuit, so he's going to have to run a new power line from the main box out here to the small house, and then I can bury all this in right here. So a little bit longer before this gets buried in, but most of my other ditch in the backyard and inside the small house can go ahead and get buried. So let's get started. Let's get to work. Alright, that is it. Notice the slope as it graduates this way. It slopes down, and that's because this has to be thicker over here, because this wall over here is load bearing to support the joist for the second floor. So it had to be thicker in this area over here. So 4 inches is fine everywhere else, which is where I'm at. Graduates down to about 6 inches over here. Just need to put a vapor barrier on it, and then it's ready to pour.